Another day, another lunatic individual trying to get Chuck Dixon cancelled, fired, something because his upcoming Alpha Core book with the Rippaverse will be out soon. So of course, there are all these weirdos who have to find things to do because they don't like the fact that Chuck Dixon, one of the greatest comic book writers of all time, is doing work with Rippaverse, that his book is going to be out soon, that it's going to be a massive success, and that, the Rippaverse is going to continue to rise. No, they have a problem with that, because as far as they are concerned, because Chuck Dixon doesn't align to their woke, crazy, mental prison ideology, he and everything he does must be wiped from the face of the earth. That is how these people live their lives. Well, let's get into what this one tried to do and how Eric July and Vox, they shut him down in hilarious style for this nonsense. I'll give a shout out and a thanks to Bounding into Comics for covering both of these. So all the information is available here. So let's get into it. YouTuber appears to defame Chuck Dixon as an anti-Semite in lead up to Rippaverse's Alpha Core release. While I say and I support free speech and I say people, if you want to start a YouTube channel and you have things you want to talk about, okay, no problem. But there's a difference between starting a YouTube channel and discussing things that that you care and passionate about, and then there's just being an idiot. That is just, I don't know. I mean, let's go on. Then, a YouTuber who runs the channel Actual Fandom recently appeared to defame Chuck Dixon as an anti-Semite as the Rippaverse is about to release Chuck Dixon's upcoming Alpha Core book. This is the artwork here for Alpha Core. Right? On X, which is formerly Twitter, the YouTuber wrote, "If you're someone who values the well-being of comics communities, I implore you to read this." Well, I highly doubt you value it, but okay. Rippaverse Comics will soon publish a comic by former industry pro, creator of Bane and Tim Drake, Chuck Dixon. It gets disturbing from there. Links in the reply. So you don't start off about, if you're someone who values the well-being of comics communities, I implore you to read this. Right. The problem with these people is that they can't separate their own crap from what they're trying to do. If someone is a comic book writer, who they vote for is no business of mine or anybody else. Whether they choose to be a Democrat or a Republican is not my business, is not my concern. If they think that you shouldn't cram LGBT nonsense into everything, that's their right. That's not the comic that you're writing. If somebody believes that God created the earth in 7 days, okay, how is that a bad thing? Well, 6 days rested on the 7th. How is that a bad thing? If somebody has Christian values and belief, why should that matter? All that should matter to the person is willing to do their job, they do good work, and they get along with people. That is it. But no, as far as they're concerned, if you do not align perfectly with what they have upstairs in their head, which is several rooms for rent that any woke nonsense could just move into, you are a problem. Let's go on to see what he has to say. In the tweet, Dane takes issue with Chuck Dixon's creation of the comic series Alt Hero Q for Vox Day's Arkhaven Comics. In an image he shared as part of his tweet, he writes, he's also worked with a publisher called Arkhaven on a comic called Alt Hero Q, as in QAnon. The first arc is titled Where We Go One, which refers to the Q conspiracy mantra of where we go one, we go all, often shortened on social media as whatever the hell that's the single always good thing. He then goes on to provide summaries of the first couple of issues of the book. From there he states, for those unfamiliar with the IRL QAnon, it is a belief that a vast conspiracy of Hollywood elites and every politician who isn't explicitly pro-Trump is engaged in acts involving children, ranging from an updated take on anti-Semitic blood libel narratives to pedophilia and satanic sacrifice. I'm gonna go through a little more of which crazy you have to say, then I'm gonna shoot it down there. In a subsequent tweet, he also writes, QAnon absolutely promotes bigotry against Jewish people, being an updated version of the anti-Semitic blood libel, as well as LGBTQ people. It is also directly influenced in several acts of domestic terrorism, including the January 6th insurrection. This violates Kindle's policies. Now, this Hero Q comic is basically about a secret agent going after these this kind of secret groups and things that are involved in human trafficking and child pedophilia and things like that. That's what it is. All this other crap he's talking about has nothing to do with it at all. But because this is where they live in their mind constantly, this is what they have to do. So you go on searching through Chuck Dixon's work, see this and decide to make this long post to try and start something that isn't actually there. Let's go on. Hang on, we'll get any pathway to the board. Alright, however, not only does he appear to be defaming Dixon, but he does indeed try to cancel him. As he shared in one of the images on Twitter, Chuck Dixon, who again is writing at least one issue of a comic book specifically advertised by its creator, Eric July, as appropriate for kids, features his QAnon comic on Amazon's Kindle platform, which you can read yourself for free with a Kindle Unlimited subscription. Alternately, you could contact Amazon to ask if they are aware that they're selling a QAnon promoting comic with no age restrictions, just as they sell Vox Days comics and merch to all ages. So now he's telling his viewers and people who are reading his with all kind of stuff to contact Amazon and protest them to get rid of Chuck Dixon's book, because this has some underlying something that he just somehow make up in his mind. That's it. That's what he's doing. Right, so this is the official description for the comic. Okay? When federal agent Ronald Dane is sent to Peru to escort a U.S. cabinet member, he has no reason to believe his assignment is connected in any way to his Treasury team's recent bust of a ring of amateur counterfeiters. But when the Secretary of State and his entourage is unexpectedly attacked and the subsequent news reports of the attack bear no resemblance to the events he witnessed, Dane is forced to confront the shocking discovery that nothing in his world is quite what it appears to be. Alt Hero Q is an incendiary comic series that explores the mysterious phenomenon of QAnon. That's it, but no, you have a problem with that. So yeah, he was trying to get Amazon to cancel Chuck Dixon, and by extent, get Eric July to cancel him too, because, he has a problem with what's going on. Well, Eric July and Vox Day, the person who runs Arkhaven Comics, basically told him you could take that crap and shove it. So bounding it to comics cover, it did also. Eric July and Vox Day respond to attempts to cancel Chuck Dixon. Rippaverse Comics founder Eric July and Arkhaven Comics publisher Vox Day recently shared their responses to the attempts to cancel legendary comic book writer Chuck Dixon. Dixon was accused of anti-Semitism by YouTuber Dane of actual fandom. Right? We just went through all of that, so let's get to what it is Eric July had to say first. July responds to this cancellation call on YouTube, and I actually saw this video that Eric July posted up, and I could not stop clapping, because what he is doing here shows that these people have absolutely no power. They have been led to believe that they have power by some false narrative that just lives in their mind. They go on Twitter, make some noise, and these so-called companies like Disney and Marvel and them bow and scrape to them, and they believe they could get away with it. But no, when you are the person running your company, you can tell them, back all you want, it ain't going to matter. This is what Eric July had to say. Here's what's going to happen, and you're going to have to get over it. Yes, we have people that the mainstream has deemed, I don't know, abhorrent, because maybe they have a view or two. Namely, it's likely they support politicians or don't support the politicians that they think they should, right? He then goes on. Here's what's going to happen and what you're going to have to get over. As far as this company is concerned, Chuck Dixon is about to be part of a campaign and is going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps millions. And guess what? He gets a bonus in the event that it does. You're going to get his pockets lined up, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Excellently said. That is it. That is it. There are people who you don't like because for some reason they don't follow your political views. So they must so everybody must cancel them because of that. No. And he made it quite clear here. He's going to put out a book that is going to make a lot of money. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. He then continued. They say some people want to go to their employers. They want to get them to put off a certain platform. That doesn't happen over here, and you can't do shit about it. And you want to know why? Because what are you going to do? Well, we don't want the Rippaverse to publish that. Who are you going to go to? Well, go to the publisher. I am the publisher. And he's quite right. Who are you going to go to and complain? Oh, we're going to go to the publisher. Eric July is the publisher. Oh, well, maybe we go to the distributors. Look at me. I am the distributor now. And he's down. I tell you, when I saw this video, I could not stop clapping because he's 100% right. And there's nothing you can do, nothing. And they're going to have to get over it. Exactly. They have made a history of going to these companies and just going up the ladder to complain, and bully people till they get what they want. But when you're dealing with a company that does not subscribe to your mental illness, and the person running it is the person who's doing everybody in the company that you can complain to is Eric July. And he's not listening to you because he knows, you understand me, this comic he's putting out, this work that he's doing with the Rippaverse is for the fans. If you want to be a problem 24 hours a day, that's your business, not his. So you're going to have to get over that. He continued on again. There are people that have been very creative, and because they said something you don't like, you've deemed that they shouldn't be a part of like the effing comic book industry. Who are these people? They are losers, and he's quite right. And this is why social justice activism is the effing tool and occupation of losers, because it unfortunately has been able to amplify people that are not only unreasonable, but it gives them some sense of importance that they never got in their entire lives ever. Absolutely true. This has given these people the ability to believe that they could bully and just intimidate anybody, any way that they want. Social media has become like a toxic pit for them. It's no longer about interacting with people, learning new things, meeting people. No, it's about pushing your own agenda online, trying to get people cancelled, fired, destroy their lives. Because why? Why? They don't align to what you believe everything should be. No, and I fully support Eric July in telling them to go straight down the road and jump in the river that is up, because you're not doing anything positive. The man is putting out a book. One of the greatest comic book writers ever is doing some work. Be excited to learn about that. No, because he doesn't align to your political views. You have to look to dig up anything to be a problem for him. That's not one if they realize how petty and ridiculous that the someone is when they're doing this. But I guess not. Then Vox, they responded to the cancellation attempts on his website. They wrote, "Let me get this straight. Because the legend wrote a comic about an evil elite that engages in child sex trafficking, he is anti-Semitic. Now, isn't that an open and public admission that a certain group of people are engaged in child sex trafficking and satanic sacrifice, especially given the fact that the comic doesn't mention or imply anything about satanic sacrifice?" He continued. They concluded, "Anyhow, this is just an attempt to get Chuck kicked off Eric July's project, which isn't going to happen. What's amusing about this is that if Dane is worked up about AHQ, he's going to stroke out on the spot if he ever reads the Legends Levon Cade's novels." Yeah, this is what they're doing. And right now, Chuck Dixon is also eventually given again. He had no thought of ending his working relationship with Dixon. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, now Chuck Dixon's also working on a Conan novel. It's called Caravan of the Damned. Chuck Dixon's Conan #2. This is a cover for it here. And I like Conan. I think Conan, when done well, is a cool story that is really freaking amazing. But they were supposed to do a Conan series for Amazon, but then somebody came in and took over and talk about how, Conan is toxic masculinity. And I mean, just make this clear, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. But this is the mindset of these people. So Eric July is not firing Chuck Dixon, so you could just go bury your head in the sand. Vox Day is determined to continue to work with him, and all you have done, Mr. so-called YouTuber, is make a complete moron of yourself. I, for one, hope you're very happy and pleased with yourself. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell if I upload a new video. And if you get a chance, feel free to check out Chuck Dixon's Conan series. It's actually really good. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.